So what do you think I did on my morning having coffee out here? I came out here and I looked around at all the work I still want to do. Well, there's always work. Hi, it's Robbie from Southern California. And you know a garden is never finished because it's always changing. It's forever changing. You set it up, you step back and you go, I could do that better. Or maybe you want to move things. So today I did a big project. I actually moved something. I'm still in the middle of my project, but isn't this cool? Got all my feeders in different colors. I'm going to add some more color to it. Of course, the birds aren't here because I'm standing right in front of it, but they've been here all morning. And let me show you what I did do. Remember this fountain? This is the one I picked up in the trash. Somebody threw it away because the pump broke. The pump broke. So I put a solar one on. Look at that. Well, if you remember, it was over here. And I really can't get in here. So what I did today, and I did a lot, cleared out the whole back, and I can put pots there or dig holes and maybe drop in different types of tree colored and different brassicas in there, or I'm not sure yet. I was going to put a tote, but here's my thought. If I put a tote here, I can't walk if I make a path, say, and I want to be able to walk back here. So a tote would block too much. And on top of that, if you stop and remember, so many years ago, I had totes back there and I pulled them out just because of that. So what my goal was here is to get into this old dog crate. This is a dog kennel. I've talked about that many years ago. There was a pet store that had a big grooming facility and they threw out all these white things. See, they're white blocks here. There's even one there. And these were for the groomer. And they were set up for large dogs, small dogs, and they decided to redo it for whatever reason. And it was actually my daughter. She had worked at the pet store and she called and said, you better get down here. They piled everything by the dumpster. Hey, dumpster, free to go. They were throwing everything out. So we ran down there and we grabbed them. I should say Gary, well, we did go, but Gary dragged them all home. They had big metal doors. I'm not even sure what happened to the doors. And there were people that wanted to buy it. Hey, this setup is worth $1,000 or each one is $1,000. And we said, no, I'm not selling them to put dogs in. So we ended up dragging them all over the place until they ended up here. And they've been my planter, but they're a little difficult because, see, I don't like large raised beds normally. The soil after time gets compacted. We've talked about this. And then you got to dig it out. Can you imagine trying to move this thing? I mean, it's good. It's fine for you younger people that want to do all that work, but it's too much work. So we ended up planting it in, and it fizzles out. You have to tip them all. And then when you have big plants, well, those are too big already. Then you got to take everything out. It's really, I really garden on the easy, and we do quite well. So here's what's happening. I moved this. I came out this morning, analyzed. I had a fountain here for years, which is now over here, and I think it's a fabulous, fabulous spot for it. I can move some more of those pots and fix it up prettier with flowers and things. And if you look, it really wasn't doing any good here. It was blocking this container, so I can't get into it. I can't do anything with it if I can't get into it. I had all my mint on the ground. And so what I did was I cleared all that out, which is now in the trash can because we don't compost mint. If you compost it and a little bit lives, you'll have it in all your pots. So that does get trashed. And now I can walk around there. I can do something in the back. I can maybe put grapes or something back there next year if I want, because I've got that little fence thing. I could put beans. I grew cucumbers on that before, and peas and green beans. But the main thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to analyze what's in here. Now there's a fountain you guys never saw. I bought it, put it in here. Everything grew around it, the lemon verbena and everything. You don't get to it. That's coming out. I believe that's lemon verbena in there. I'm going to have to evaluate that when I dig this all out. I'm hoping the lemon verbena is coming over into it so I can take out if it's a brassica and start over. If it is that plant, I will leave it. And then a lot of these will come out, and I'm going to go through and take all these branches off. I'm going to load this up and then pile some leftover soil on top, and then I'm going to bucket grow. I'm going to put buckets in there. And the reason is I will make sure the holes are on the bottom because no gophers can get into there. I can take care of my buckets by tooling them if anything gets in there that I don't want getting in there. And it will be easy to lift out. Hey, I could grow a lot of potatoes in there. Then you just lift the bucket, dump it in a wheelbarrow and pull out all your potatoes and put it back. It's easy to move around. Any pot that's small, under 5 gallons, is easy to move around. And in the meantime, by putting all my branches and basically well, it's like kitchen scraps, everything from the plants around here in here, I will be building soil. So I can go back afterwards and dig out of it. So it's like you're composting at the same time you're growing in it. And I'll have to get rid of, see, there's a broken pot back there. So I'm gonna do that during the week slowly. My big accomplishment today was getting all the spearmint out, because spearmint grows like a weed here. I wish it was chocolate mint, I'd leave it, but chocolate mint doesn't grow like that. It's a little more delicate, so it will grow in a container really good, but when it hits the ground here, it doesn't take off running like the spearmint does. So now I've got all that done, so that's what I was doing. I'm gonna probably move these pots too, so I can get in there, get that set up, and do it little by little, get that out, and I really think this is the best place for it. Look how beautiful it is. The pump is really old. It's been chewed up, pieced back together. This is the solar fountain kit that's got the long cord, and it's barely trickling. See, because it's so old and it needs a good cleaning. I haven't even cleaned it in the longest time, but though I have, I think I've got videos on that exact one, coming out here, popping it open, cleaning it. I like that gentle trickle. It's tucked away. Can you imagine maybe putting, well, I could put any flower here, but if I put, let's say, geraniums that I'm planting all over the place, I don't have to take care of them. They'll look pretty, they'll grow, they'll give cover for the birds. The main thing when you're setting up fountains is you've got to give them some sort of cover. Look at the cover they've got here. So when they get all wet and they can't fly really good for at least, a minute or so, they know they can dart into something. So they'll be able to come through on the branches. Try to put some branches around if you can. They'll come in, they'll land on that, take a bath, and then dart into the bushes. And that's what they really need. They need some sort of plant. So if you're putting out a water feature on an open table or a balcony and you have no plants, there's a chance you may not get that many birds. You'll get the occasional house finch or English sparrow or house sparrow come to it because they're bold. They come to everything. You go to a restaurant and they're all over your feet looking for food. Hey, they're gonna drop a piece of bread. But your other birds that are more shy may not come to it. Your hummingbirds, put a single pot of anything you want in there, some sort of flower. Get something that's so easy to take care of, like geraniums. I've got the hummingbird lunch here. There's a geranium down there. I mean, look at that. And then we've got the salvias growing here. And I've even got, look at the butterfly just took off, sage. So not only do you grow it for flowers and that gets purple flowers, you grow it for food. So you could put anything you want. Look at this. Threw some seeds in a flower pot, watered it, made sure no birds got in there and eat it, and I've got a beautiful bouquet of all kinds of zinnias. So you can grow all your own when you want, that easy, and you'll bring the birds. So that was my day today. And I'll see what else I do. I'll probably go through and analyze more. There's a lot in here I have to do. There's a purple tree collar that fell over. I'm still thinking of, do I just chop it out and compost it, or do I take the pieces and grow it? Well, now I actually have a spot, because now I can take those pieces, cut them off, and instead of going through propagating them and everything, I could just come back here, dig a bunch of holes, put a whole line of them, and whatever makes it, makes it. That's like the easiest thing to do. But I think I'm gonna stay away from flower pots. That's my secret garden, or hidden garden back here. Not much to see back there, except for the big fig tree. See, I used to grow back there, but it's just too hard to hike through. Gary works back there. All the way down there, he's made something where he can strain wood chips and stuff. But look at the fig tree. The birds are waiting. Can you see it's loaded with hundreds and hundreds of figs? We're all waiting. We're gonna see who gets them first. I don't even know what all these trees are back there. Got sumac back there. I believe that one may be sumac. And then here I've got some citrus trees, which I do go down and get oranges from, or lemons or whatever I've got back there. But that's it. So now I'm gonna still clean up all this. Now what this is back here is geranium that died back. So I don't need that. We'll get that out and get new geranium in there. I bought a bunch of, let me get through here. I bought a, no, I can't get through here. Okay, let me switch hands. Gotta move the plant. That's what I'm gonna do, make it where I can move. I bought a bunch of different geraniums that are different colors, bright reds, bright purpley pinks. So I'm gonna get those planted. Why? Because I guess the only thing I can say is they're stupid simple here in Southern California to grow. So many people don't like them because they're so easy. A piece breaks and drops on the ground and they grow like a weed. I love that. That's less work for me. And then I'll be able to just stick pieces in pots like I did here, and then they'll take off and grow. And I've done it through the back there too. But I also do want to get some nice plants. Isn't that nice? What do you think? You think it looks good there? I'll fix up the wire a little bit better. I've just got it kind of hanging up on the top. And I think it's got a nice area here. It's in the shade. I think it's good all the way around. Look at that. See where it's just hanging there? It's looking really good. I've got another one back there but got buried by the mint. This is in a bucket, so I'm going to have to get to that and see what's going on with that. Clean that up. That needs a good cleaning. That's my candlestick. That's the food tray. That needs a good cleaning. You know, here, because of the hot sun, it does grow some green algae, and I don't worry about that. I do go through and wash it out, but if it's green, it's alive. It may be hard on some fish sometimes. I don't have any fish in here because the algae pulls oxygen for itself a lot of times. Depends on the type of fish you've got. But I just scrubbed it even now. I took a sponge with a scrubber, scrubbed that out. I could bleach it. I could scrub it with vinegar and all that. I just go through and clean it up. It's part of nature. Go look by a creek and the rocks, they've got green. As long as you've got running water, you're doing good. And keep in mind, mosquitoes cannot produce and hatch in running water. So if the water goes on pretty much every day, the eggs will float. And if they flip, basically, or even if they move, your average mosquito, I better use the term average because there's a few other odd ones now because they don't float. The embryo would die inside. So running water doesn't usually produce mosquitoes. I'm not saying 100% because there's never 100%, but I've never found mosquito larvae in any of these. And if you do, tip it out to your plants. It's added plant food. So that's what I did today. I hope you have a wonderful day. I think this is really good. And now I can sit back and enjoy the garden and everything. With that, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye.